All right, ready to dive deep into cholesterol today. We're talking all about those numbers and how you can take control through diet and lifestyle.
Some really interesting stuff.
Yeah, so we're going off of an expert interview. It's from a major health publication, one of the
Yeah, yeah,
trusted ones. And I got to say, I was pretty surprised by some of the stuff in here.
yeah.
But we're not just going to like throw information at you and be
Right.
like, okay, good luck, figure it out.
Exactly, yeah.
It's really about, okay, what can you actually do with this? What are the takeaways?
And it's not all about cutting out fat, which is what I found super interesting.
Yeah.
There are actually some fats that can help you in this fight against high cholesterol.
Yeah, and the thing that stood out to me reading through all of this is that the expert really emphasizes this holistic approach.
Mm.
It's like, it's not just about the food on your plate. It's everything. It's like how you handle stress. It's all these things.
It's this whole web of interconnected factors, and we're going to try to untangle all of that
Yeah,
today.
yeah, totally.
But maybe we should start with what I think is like the rock star of cholesterol control, which is soluble fiber.
Okay, yeah.
I was surprised by just how powerful this stuff is.
Yeah, soluble fiber, I mean, I knew it was good for you, but like the way this expert was describing it.
It's fascinating. So they explain how it forms a gel in your intestines.
Okay,
So imagine this. It binds to cholesterol and to those pesky bile acids
okay.
and prevents them from being reabsorbed into your bloodstream.
So let me see if I'm getting this right. So like those bile acids, which are helping us digest fats, they're also carrying cholesterol.
Exactly.
And then the soluble fiber swoops in, traps them like a net, and stops that cholesterol from getting back into the bloodstream.
That's a great way to put it. You got it.
Okay, that's so cool.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
this process, it actually forces your liver to use up more of its stored cholesterol to create new bile acids.
So clever.
Yeah, right. So it further lowers your LDL, the bad cholesterol.
So it's like a two-pronged attack.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm even more interested now. So like, what kinds of foods are we talking about here? What's got this magic soluble fiber?
Well, this is where you can actually like make some changes in your diet and actually target it.
Okay.
So the expert, they highlight legumes, so things like lentils, black beans, chickpeas,
Okay.
not just kidney beans, which is what I always thought of. They're all excellent sources.
Yeah.
You've also got certain whole grains like barley and oats, and then pectin-rich fruits, apples, pears, and berries.
So like, instead of having white rice with dinner, I could have like barley.
Exactly. Or
Yeah.
like add some black beans to a salad instead of just lettuce and tomato.
Okay.
These are things you can do.
Yeah, those are totally doable.
Exactly. And like small sustainable swaps, that's what makes the difference
Right.
over time.
Yeah, and like those foods, they're good for you in other ways too. So it's like,
Yeah, they're nutritional powerhouses. You're winning on all fronts.
yeah, it's a win-win.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm ready for more. What else is on this list?
Well, nuts get a special mention, and not just as a snack.
Okay.
They're full of unsaturated fats, which are good for your heart, and phytosterols, which the expert calls cholesterol blockers.
Wait, so phytosterols, those are the things they add to like margarine and yogurts to make them like heart healthy.
That's exactly right, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're naturally found in plants, but food manufacturers, they figured out how to add them to certain products to give you that extra cholesterol lowering boost.
So like snacking on almonds or walnuts could have the same effect.
Absolutely, yep.
I'd much rather have almonds and margarine, that's for sure.
For sure, and don't forget about fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They're full of those omega-3 fatty acids, which do a bunch of good stuff for your heart.
Yeah. Omega-3, they're the ones that help with like inflammation, right?
Yeah, they're important. So
Do they actually lower LDL like directly?
they don't have a direct impact on LDL, but they do wonders for your overall heart health.
Oh.
So they help to lower triglycerides, which is another type of fat in your blood. Okay.
Or protect your arteries from damage.
So it's like keeping the whole system healthy, not just focusing on one number.
Exactly, yeah.
I like that approach. I like that a lot.
And speaking of holistic approach, this expert is a big proponent of extra virgin olive oil, which is a key part of the Mediterranean diet,
Oh, yeah. Wow.
which they talk about later on in the interview.
The Mediterranean diet. Like when you say that, I just picture like a sunny meal, all these colorful veggies and fresh seafood, and of course, olive oil.
Beautiful green olive oil, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a delicious way to nourish your body.
Mm-hmm.
And the Mediterranean diet, it naturally includes a lot of the cholesterol-lowering strategies that we've been talking about.
Right.
So you've got plenty of plant-based foods, the fish, the healthy fats. It's a win for your taste buds and for your heart.
So even if I can't, like go full Mediterranean, even like shifting towards that, even a little bit.
Absolutely. Even small changes can have a ripple effect on your health.
Oh. And here's a crucial point that the expert really emphasizes. Cholesterol control. It's not just about food.
Oh.
It's about this whole holistic approach, you know?
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about what they mean by holistic. What else should we be thinking about?
Well, physical activity is a big one, and specifically getting your heart pumping with aerobic exercise.
Okay.
So think like brisk walking, running, swimming, cycling.
So it's not just about like lifting weights at the gym, it's about actually getting your heart rate up.
Yeah, exactly. Aerobic exercise, it not only helps lower triglycerides, but it also boosts HDL cholesterol.
That's the good one.
That's the good one. We want more of that.
Okay, got it.
So we've got the diet, the exercise.
What about like those habits that we all know are probably not great for us? Like, are those affecting cholesterol too?
You're exactly right. The expert addresses smoking head on.
Okay.
So not only does it lower your good cholesterol, but it damages your arteries,
Right.
which makes them more susceptible to plaque buildup,
Right.
which leads to all sorts of problems down the road.
Our problems, yeah.
Exactly. And the good news is quitting smoking has almost immediate positive effects
Oh, wow.
on your cholesterol levels and really reduces your risk of heart disease.
That's good to know. That's really encouraging, actually.
Yeah, your body can bounce back.
What about alcohol? Like, there's always all this conflicting information about whether it's good for your heart or bad for your heart.
Yeah, the expert touches on that. So they specifically mention moderate red wine consumption.
Okay.
So like 1 glass a day.
Okay.
And some studies have linked that with higher HDL levels.
Interesting.
But, and this is a big but, the key here is moderation.
Right, because too much alcohol, it's obviously not good for you.
No, not at all. Excessive drinking, regardless of what you're drinking, it raises your triglycerides and contributes to weight gain,
Right.
which often goes hand in hand with high cholesterol.
Right. So moderation is key,
Yeah,
like with most things in life.
exactly.
Got it. What about just like weight in general?
Yeah.
How does that factor in?
That's another important piece of the puzzle. So the expert points out that carrying extra weight, especially around your midsection, that's linked to high LDL, low HDL, and high triglycerides.
Okay.
But here's the encouraging part. Losing even a small amount of weight,
Okay.
like 5 to 10% of your body weight, can significantly improve your cholesterol profile and reduce your risk of cardiovascular disease.
So it's not about like crazy diets or anything.
Exactly. It's about sustainable changes
Yeah.
that move you in the right direction.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
And here's something that might surprise you. The expert highlights chronic stress
Stress.
as a contributing factor to high cholesterol.
I wouldn't have thought of that right away.
Yeah, it makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah. Like when you're stressed, you reach for comfort food and you don't exercise as much, you don't sleep as well. Like all of that can kind of indirectly affect it.
Yeah, exactly. But there's a more direct link too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So when you're chronically stressed, your body pumps out cortisol, the stress hormone.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? Elevated cortisol levels can increase your liver's production of cholesterol.
Oh, wow.
So managing stress isn't just good for your mental health, it's crucial for your physical well-being too.
Including cholesterol.
Exactly.
Okay. That's huge.
Yeah, so incorporating stress management techniques like meditation, yoga, spending time in nature, even just taking a few deep breaths throughout the day can make a real difference.
I think we could all use a little bit of that, honestly.
We all deal with stress.
So, yeah, for sure.
So it's an investment in your well-being.
Okay, I'm writing that down. Stress management, got to do it.
Exactly. And finally, the expert acknowledges that sometimes, despite our best efforts, genetics can play a role.
Okay.
So some individuals might be predisposed to high cholesterol even if they have a healthy lifestyle.
So if you're doing everything right and you're still struggling with high cholesterol, it could just be your genes.
It's a possibility, and in those cases, medical intervention might be necessary alongside lifestyle changes. So for example, familial hypercholesterolemia. That's a genetic condition that requires a specific treatment.
Okay, so it's important to be aware of that.
Absolutely.
Like we have this whole toolbox of lifestyle strategies, but you also have to kind of be aware of your individual situation and talk to your doctor.
I agree. Personalized care is so important. It's not one size fits all.
This has been so eye-opening. I feel like I've learned so much already about like the different types of cholesterol, the power of food and exercise, stress management, even the red wine thing.
In moderation.
Yeah, in moderation, of course, but it's all about this holistic approach.
It's been so interesting to explore this with you. And remember, knowledge is power. The more you understand about how your body works and what affects your cholesterol levels, the better choices you can make.
Totally. And we're not done yet. After a quick break, we'll be back to go even deeper into some of this stuff.
Yeah, we'll explore even more strategies for taking control of your cholesterol.
So stay tuned.
And that kind of brings us to another point the expert made. It's not just about lowering the bad cholesterol, it's also about raising the good cholesterol.
Right. Yeah, we always hear about like good cholesterol or HDL, but honestly, I'm not totally sure what it actually does. Like, what's the point of it? Fill me in. Why is HDL so important?
So think of HDL as your body's cholesterol cleanup crew.
Okay.
It goes through your bloodstream, picks up that excess cholesterol,
Okay.
and takes it back to your liver to be broken down and removed.
Okay.
So higher HDL levels mean your body is better at getting rid of that extra cholesterol, which is good news for your heart.
Okay. That makes sense. So it's like it's taking out the trash, preventing it from like
Yeah, exactly.
building up in your artery.
Prevents that buildup.
We talked about how aerobic exercise can boost HDL. Are there other things, like surprising things that can increase those levels?
Exercise is definitely key, but this is where it gets interesting.
Okay.
Remember we were talking about moderate red wine consumption?
Yeah.
And how that might raise HDL.
The idea that a glass of red wine with dinner could actually be heart healthy.
Right.
I'm sure people are curious about that.
It's important to note that the research on alcohol and HDL is still, it's still going on.
Yeah.
But some studies suggest that the antioxidants in red wine, especially one called resveratrol,
Okay.
might have a good effect on HDL levels,
Okay.
but big but moderate.
Yeah, of course, because too much alcohol is obviously not good.
Exactly. Excessive drinking, no matter what you're drinking,
Yeah.
it raises triglycerides and makes you gain weight.
Right.
And that goes with high cholesterol.
So finding that balance is key.
Absolutely. And it's important to remember that even moderate red wine consumption, it's not a replacement for healthy habits.
Yeah.
It's one part of the puzzle.
Right. Okay.
So we've got the exercise, maybe a little red wine.
What else? What else can we do?
Well, while this expert didn't really talk about other specific ways to raise HDL, there are some interesting things to think about.
Okay.
Some research suggests that soluble fiber,
Oh.
the one we were talking about earlier,
Uh-huh.
might actually help HDL indirectly
Okay.
by making your overall cholesterol balance better.
So all those beans and lentils and berries,
Exactly.
they could be good for HDL too.
Potentially, yeah. And there's new research coming out
Okay.
that's looking at whether healthy fats, like the ones in olive oil, avocados, and nuts,
Okay.
could also contribute to higher HDL levels.
So it's not just about cutting stuff out. It's about adding good stuff in too.
Exactly. It's about making choices that you enjoy.
Yeah, foods that make you feel good.
Exactly. That's the beauty of this approach. And I think what this expert says about stress management shows how connected our minds and bodies are.
Yeah.
When we take care of our mental health, it helps our physical health,
It's all connected.
including our cholesterol levels.
Yeah, it's so interesting how it's all intertwined, like our thoughts, our emotions, our habits.
Yeah, it all plays a role.
You really have to look at the big picture.
Absolutely. And that's what makes this interview so useful.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds us that cholesterol control isn't just about following strict rules.
Right.
It's about understanding how our lives affect our heart health and making choices that help our well-being.
I'm so glad we talked about all of this. We've learned so much
It's been great exploring this with you.
about good cholesterol, bad cholesterol, soluble fiber, the power of food and exercise, stress management.
And a little red wine.
Yeah, a little red wine,
Mm.
everything through this holistic approach.
Exactly.
It's been a journey.
It has. And remember, knowledge is power. The more you know, the better equipped you are to take care of your heart.
And for everyone listening, don't forget to check out the show notes. We've got links to all the research.
And resources.
Yeah, and even some recipes to help you put this knowledge into action.
We even have that lentil soup with lemon and herbs that you were talking about earlier.
Oh, yeah, the one I'm obsessed with. And speaking of action, I'm feeling really inspired to make some changes after this.
Me too.
How about you?
Absolutely. Small steps can make a big difference, and it's never too late to take care of your heart.
Well said. Well said. So on that note,
Yeah.
let's wrap up with some final thoughts and key takeaways.
Okay.
Okay, so as we wrap up our deep dive into cholesterol control, I think it'd be helpful to kind of distill everything we've learned into some like key takeaways, like practical steps,
Yeah.
things you can actually start doing.
Exactly. It's been a fascinating journey, exploring the science
Yeah.
and realizing that you actually have a lot of power
Yeah.
to change those numbers.
Soluble fiber for me is like the MVP.
Mm.
Like it's just amazing how this one thing can make such a difference in lowering that LDL cholesterol.
It's your secret weapon. It's like a little cholesterol sponge
Yeah,
working away in your gut.
love it.
And it's not like some weird supplement.
Right, exactly.
It's everyday foods. It's the beans, the lentils, the oats, the berries.
And I love that, we talked about how nuts and olive oil can be so good for you. It's not about like deprivation.
Right.
It's about making smart choices that also taste good.
Exactly. And the Mediterranean diet is a great example.
Oh, yeah.
It embraces those healthy fats,
Yeah.
along with all those fruits, vegetables, whole grains.
And what really struck me was this emphasis on the holistic approach.
Yeah, that's key.
It's not just about the food. It's about moving your body, managing stress, taking care of yourself.
It's all connected. Your mental health, your physical health, your lifestyle, it all plays a part.
Yeah, and speaking of the bigger picture, I think this expert's advice to get your cholesterol checked is a really good starting point.
Absolutely. Knowing those numbers, it's like having a roadmap to guide you on that journey to a healthy heart.
So if you haven't done that already, talk to your doctor.
It's just a simple blood test.
Yeah, and it can give you so much information.
And then you can take all the stuff we talked about and make those small, sustainable changes.
Right, like swap the white rice for quinoa.
Yeah, exactly.
Throw some walnuts on your yogurt.
Take a walk at lunch.
Yeah, those little things add up.
Don't forget about stress management.
That's a big one.
Find what works for you, whether it's meditation, yoga, being out in nature.
Just breathing.
Taking some deep breaths.
Yeah.
Make it a part of your routine.
It's all about those choices that nourish you.
Your mind and body.
I love that.
And as you start making those changes, remember, progress, not perfection. Celebrate those little wins. Be patient with yourself and enjoy the journey.
Yeah, it's about living a longer, healthier, more vibrant life.
That's what it's all about.
And that's a goal worth striving for. I think we can all agree on that. We hope you found this deep dive insightful, empowering.
You've got the knowledge. You've got the tools.
Yeah, it's time to take charge of your heart health.
We're here to support you every step of the way. So until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, keep diving deep.